This is one of the greatest books that has ever been written. This one right here. If I could, I would send everyone who requests a copy, I would send them a copy. This book was written by Josh Barron, and he's a former Zen Buddhist priest. It is so filled with wisdom. This morning's little thing about hate, for example, it is disturbing, of course. But relatives and friends will usually tell you how they feel about you. But it is really important that you listen. Not necessarily what the words are, but listen with your heart and your feelings. And they will tell you how they feel about you. Suddenly the communications stop. Suddenly the communications change. Suddenly there is silence from the other end. These are communication signs of communication that you need to be aware of. So what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Well, one of the best things in the world is solitude. Maybe they want to sever ties with you, but they are far too civilized and they're far too kind to tell you to get lost. So, the one thing that you can do is you can hear the message loud and clear and leave them alone. Leave them alone. This sort of bothers me because obviously this person is upset because somebody hates this person. Well, I'll tell you something. You cannot always tell what the other person is thinking. You've got to be a trained psychologist quite often to follow the signs. But here's what I do know. I created Microdacism, and it has no religious preference at all. But if I had to choose a religious preference, I would choose Buddhism or the way of the Buddha, only because it is self-imposed, it is looking at yourself, it is taking responsibility for your action, and it is living a life that is true to yourself. Now, I say that because a lot of people live their lives trying to please others. It doesn't work. Or they will live their lives according to what the good book says. That doesn't work either, because in no case at all will you find anyone who lives a life according to the good book verbatim. They do not. They pick little pieces here and there, and they will live a life that is in keeping what they think they ought to be living. That's because they pick a piece here, a piece there, and they put it together, or they have a religious person tell them how and what to think. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I know I've been the victim of some pretty malicious, very malicious sayings and whatever. But because of my faith in myself and my ability to do the things that I enjoy, it is like water on a duck's back. Not that I don't care what they're saying. It is I don't have it influence me and who I am. Look, I know my flaws. I'm ready to admit my flaws. So when somebody throws my flaws in my face, they're speaking the truth as they see it, but I'm already aware of my flaws. I am not perfect. If I were, I would not be here in this lifetime. You understand? So, what am I saying? If you can get a hold of this book, and this is the daily sayings of the mystics, sages, and poets. This is a collection of their sayings that you may adapt to your own life. It's sort of like the Four Agreements. Have you read that book? Once you have read the Four Agreements and you have internalized the Four Agreements, then you are sort of immune from malicious slander and bad words thrown at you.